Now, the search is on for the person who opened fire last night inside a Brooklyn apartment building. 4 people were shot. A 20-year-old man was killed. Another man is in critical condition. Today, New York's Catherine Craig's on Fulton Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant with the latest. Kat, good morning.
And darling, good morning to you. And it is a very active scene this morning. What's taking place right now, crime scene investigators, and we're zooming into them. They're putting down evidence markers on. From what we can tell, there were shots fired inside an apartment here, but also outside. As you mentioned, 4 people were shot. Let's take a look at some video. And of those 4, 1 of them died. Ambulances raced to the scene and transported the victims to area hospitals. One of the 4 people shot was hit in the head and chest and pronounced dead here at the scene. He was only 20 years old. This all happened after 10 o'clock last night in an apartment on Fulton Street and Malcolm X Boulevard. But again, it seems there were also shots fired outside of that apartment. Another 20-year-old man was shot in the upper body. He's in critical condition. 2 women, 22 years old and 55 years old, were also shot. Both are listed in stable condition. A person who lives in the area told us this.
This really took me by surprise when I came up here, and I was shocked. That I actually wanted to know what was going on. But when I found out, you know, it's devastating, and it's really a tragedy.
Shocking for so many people. And at this point, darling, we talked with a detective just a few minutes ago. No one has been arrested. And what happened here, there is the gunman, a male gunman, who's still on the loose. And as for that person who died, a young man, 20 years old, his identity has not yet been released. Reporting live, Catherine Craig, Today in New York.
Out of that developing story in Brooklyn, 4 people shot, 1 died after shots rang out inside an apartment building in Bed-Stuy. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller joins us live from the scene with new details. Derek.
And Ken, this morning, police are still out here with Fulton Street closed as the crime scene unit does their work this morning after 4 people were shot. 1 of those people who got shot died. Let's show you some video of the scene from earlier. I'll tell you that police were investigating in pouring rain last night here outside 1778 Fulton Street. A 20-year-old man was shot in the head and chest inside of an apartment building here, and he died. Another 20-year-old was shot in the chest and had critical injuries, and 2 women also got hurt. A 22-year-old grazed in the butt, police say, and a 55-year-old woman who was shot. Overnight, we spoke to a neighbor.
The senseless violence is a tragedy in our neighborhood, and we got to learn to do better. You know, a lot of people are coming from work, going home. And this senseless violence is just straight nonsense. So we don't need none of that in our neighborhood.
And a live look back here at the scene here on Fulton Street. A lot of work that investigators have to do here with 4 people shot, 1 man who was killed. Certainly so much more we have to learn about the circumstances that led up to this shooting. Reporting live this morning in Bed-Stuy, I'm Derek Waller, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Police are investigating after 4 people were shot last night in Brooklyn. One of the victims, a 20-year-old man, died at the scene. The police say he was shot in the head and in the chest. It happened on Fulton Street near Utica Avenue in Bedford-Stuyvesant around 10:30.
It's devastating, and it's really a tragedy. You know, like I said, our neighborhood needs to, our community needs to be able to do better. And we, as a community within itself, really need to step up and, you know, be able to put a stop to this.
Another 20-year-old man listed in critical condition after being shot in the torso, and 2 women were also shot. They are expected to be okay.
Deadly shooting last night. 4 people shot in an apartment building. A 20-year-old man is dead, and police are still searching for the person responsible. New York's Catherine Craig's on Fulton Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant with the very latest shocking crime. 4 people shot here, Kat.
It's so shocking, Michael. And in just a moment, you'll hear from a nearby resident who's angry over this violence. But we want to show you what's taking place right now. You see those crime scene investigators there. Earlier, they were wearing full suits, those body suits, getting some evidence from the area also inside that apartment. This is where that shooting happened. 4 people wounded, and of those 4, 1 of them died. Ambulances raced to the scene and transported the victims to area hospitals. 1 of the 4 people shot was hit in the head and chest and pronounced dead at the scene. He was only 20 years old. This all happened after 10 o'clock last night in an apartment on Fulton Street and Malcolm X Boulevard, but it looks like some shots were fired outside as well. well. Another 20-year-old man was shot in the upper body and is in critical condition. 2 women, 22 years old and 55 years old, were shot. Both are listed in stable condition, and a person who lives in the area told us this.
The senseless violence is a tragedy in our neighborhood, and we got to learn to do better. And especially at this time of year, in this type of weather, stuff like that shouldn't be going on.
And no one has been arrested in what happened here, but Michael, police are still looking for a 5th person. That gunman, all we know is he's a male. Not sure yet what kind of weapon he used, but a very active scene here. The investigation goes on, and that search goes on for the shooter. Reporting live, Catherine Craig, Today, New York.
Police are looking for a gunman after 4 people were shot last night in Brooklyn. One of the victims, a 20-year-old man, died at the scene. Police say he was shot in the head and in the chest. This all happened on Fulton Street near Utica Avenue in Bedford-Stuyvesant at about 10:30 last night.
It's devastating, and it's really a tragedy. You know, like I said, our neighborhood needs to be, our community needs to be able to do better. And we, as our community within itself, really need to step up and, be able to put a stop to this.
Another man is in critical condition after being shot in the torso. 2 women were also hit. They are expected to be okay.
A deadly shooting inside an apartment building. 4 people were shot. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller live at the scene in Bed-Stuy. Derek?
And Ken, police have been here on Fulton Street all night, and crime scene investigators, they have been focusing their attention on the lobby of this building here at 1778 Fulton Street after 4 people were shot last night. 1 man has died. Let's show you some video from last night. Here's what we know so far. Police were called here to Fulton Street just before 10:30 last night. A 20-year-old man died after he was shot in the head and chest. Another 20-year-old man was shot in the chest and has critical injuries. 2 women also got hurt, a 22-year-old woman grazed in the butt and a 55-year-old woman who also got shot. A neighbor told us this violence is really reminiscent of a different era.
And this really took me by surprise when I came up here and I was shocked. I actually wanted to know what was going on. But when I found out, it's devastating, and it's really a tragedy. Like I said, our neighborhood needs to, our community needs to be able to do better.
And a live look again at the scene now. A lot of the attention being focused on that lobby where it appears a lot of this violence did take place. I can tell you that right now police are still looking for the gunman. They don't have any suspects, and so far no one has been arrested. We're live this morning in Bed-Stuy. I'm Derek Waller, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Detectives are calling the scene of a deadly shooting in the lobby of an apartment building. It happened just after 10 last night on Fulton Street. 1 person was killed, 4 others hurt. News 4's Cat Craig is at the scene in Bed-Stuy with more. Cat?
And David, we want to tell you right away, the crime scene investigators spent hours here. They left with bags and boxes of evidence. Even though police have left, there are detectives in the area trying to find surveillance video. And you can see, we're zooming into that lobby right there. There are still police officers guarding that area. That's where the shooting happened, and so many people in shock over what took place. Hours after shots rang out inside this apartment building in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, crime scene investigators continue to gather evidence. 4 people were shot inside this building on Fulton Street near Malcolm X Boulevard. 1 of them died. People we talked with who live and work in this area are stunned.
I work so close, how's that gonna affect me? How's that gonna affect the other people around here?
The shooting happened after 10 o'clock last night. Ambulances raced to the scene and transported the victims to area hospitals. 1 of the 4 people shot was hit in the head and chest and pronounced dead at the scene. He was only 20 years old. Another 20-year-old man was shot in the upper body. 2 women, ages 22 and 55, were also shot.
The senseless violence is a tragedy in our neighborhood, and we got to learn to do better.
A 5th person was involved in this, the gunman. Police say a man shot all 4 victims and then took off running. And I talked with a sergeant just a few minutes ago. The name of that young man who was killed has not been released yet. And again, police are still searching for the gunman. Reporting live, Catherine Craig, News 4 New York.
Search is on for the gunman or gunmen wanted in a deadly shooting in Brooklyn. 4 people shot, 1 killed inside an apartment building in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is joining us live with the very latest. Kim?
Well, Charlene, we're told one of the It's a 55-year-old woman at this hour. Right now, she's in surgery. A bullet hit her in the stomach. It all happened here inside of this apartment complex at this hour, which is a crime scene. We're on Fulton Street. Detectives are inside that building right there, number 1778, which no doubt is a bloody mess riddled with bullets. That's where the violence erupted right around 10:30 last night. Police say a total of 4 people were shot. Their injuries greatly vary. A 20-year-old man was fatally wounded. He was shot in the head and chest. Another 20-year-old man was hit in the torso, and at this hour, he's in critical condition. A bullet grazed a 22-year-old woman's behind. And again, that 55-year-old woman who is right now in surgery, she is expected to survive. It's not clear what sparked the shooting at this 3-story complex, who was the intended targets, or who may have been an innocent bystander. Those who heard the gunfire sadly weren't surprised.
I heard like 9 shots go off or whatever. I was in the house trying to take care of family business. Other than that, I was just like scared. I don't know. But when you hear shots like that, you just get below the window. That's all. Stay clear. This ain't the time for firecrackers, so everybody know what it is. Like.
I'm back here live. This is, again, cameras outside of 1778 Fulton, where this shooting happened inside this complex. There are not only surveillance cameras here, but on businesses in the area. And right now at this hour, detectives are walking through this community trying to track down any footage that may lead them to the suspects. For now, we're live in Bed-Stuy. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.